Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Fair Life. I am Andrew McKee, here just outside of Hammond, Louisiana, enjoying, well, several weeks of the Louisiana Renaissance Festival, like you do, because, well, that's what a fair life is all about. Thanks for joining me tonight. I had a little problem with bringing the chats over into OBS, but I think I figured it out, so here we're hoping. Great to see some of you. Let's see, Sarit and Harvey and Janine and I'm glad Alicia is on, and Nancy and Kevin and Jan and Damaris. Hey, thanks for joining us. Yeah. And okay, yeah, the chats are coming through, so we're good. And yeah, I think, oh, no, they're coming through so I can see them, but they're not coming through so I can display them. Oh, this is going to be a thing, isn't it? Okay. Yeah. Okay, I don't really know how to fix that in the short term, but at least I can see them. So, okay, we're going to go with it. Yeah, and I'm on YouTube as well, Janine, so thanks for saying that. Yeah, it is so far no drop frames. What I did from last week is I went ahead and changed it and dropped the bit rate by about a third. So still the quality I think is pretty good, and no problems, no skip frames, no issues, so everything should be okay. And yeah, Nancy's watching it with the Bears game on. Okay, excellent. Yeah, the chat is seen on Facebook. I'm just trying to, you know how I bring the chat onto the screen right here, on here. That's the problem, and I'm not quite sure if I can fix that immediately. I might give it a quick shot, because yeah, let's see. Because I think I know what the problem was. It was, yeah, I think it's this. And what I can do is, yeah, let me see if I can fix this real quick. I mean, if you really want me to, I can try it real quick. I think I can. Because the problem is just this one number I need to copy over, and then I think we're good. Right here, and... okay, we'll see if that works. No pressure. Okay. So let's see. Okay, let's do this. Haha, we got it. All right. Oh, do I seem a little blurry? Let's see. Yeah, I think I am a little blurry. I don't know if there's an easy way I can fix that while I'm going, though. So I think we're just going to have to accept that I'm a little blurry today. Once again, this is kind of all a work in progress. I was more concerned with the bit rate and having drop frames last week, and trying to get the audio as good as I can. But yeah, apparently the video is for next week. That's what I'll be focusing on there. This is it's an interesting project to try to do this on the road all the time, because, well, it looks like I'm going to be booked and on the road a lot next year. So yeah, I'm trying to make it as perfect as I can. Lots of white in the color? Okay, so maybe it's a little blown out. Thank you for saying that, Damaris. I appreciate that. I really do. Fair enough, Lisa. I totally understand. I mean, after a long weekend of Fair, I think, well, 3-day weekend of Fair, and after Thanksgiving, I think a lot of people were a little blurry on today on Monday. So you're not alone. You're right. Great for, well, thank you. That's great for on the road. I do think it is, and it's only going to get better. That's the idea. Every week I want it to at least improve, and that's the goal. And I'm going to keep doing little tweaks to make it better. Now at Faire, it was really interesting. I mentioned this before a little bit, but they put me in charge of the audio, the sound systems and everything, all of that out at the different stages at Faire this year. And it's an interesting project. I managed to fix a few things this past weekend, and one of the stages that had always had subpar sound, now it's pretty good. So I'm really happy about that. Kind of making my way around to the different stages and fixing them as best as I can day to day. So yeah, that's kind of it's fun. It's a fun project, and I'm glad that I can help out the other performers too, because the better they sound, well, the better they do. And that's really important, something I can very much relate to as a performer myself. Right you are, Janine. Oh no, actually, not too stressed. Thanks for asking. It's one of those things where as long as it's fun to do and I enjoy it, it's not bad. The first weekend, I admit, I was running around a lot and I didn't even get to play near as much music as I'm used to. And that bugged me. I got to play a lot in the morning and a lot in the evening, but in between, I was just going around fixing sound issues. So that first weekend was a little rough. But after that, it got better, and some of it is just figuring out how to work it throughout the day. And every week I get better at that, finding that balance where, okay, I'm going to play some music for about 30, 45 minutes, and then I'm going to do a quick walkabout and check the different stages and make sure everything's working okay, and then play for another 30 or 45 minutes. And that's kind of the approach I've started taking, and it's working really well. So I'm really happy about that. Yes, I know. Indeed, indeed. Yeah, I would like that, Jan. Hopefully more road trips. I'll don't worry. Pretty soon I'll be putting up a new schedule for the new year, and so far it's pretty exciting. Over the next, well, probably over the next month, I'm going to be expanding it and getting it pretty figured out, at least to through the end of the summer. So that will be great. I'm really looking forward to that. Should be a lot of fun. Always is. Yeah, let's see. Other than that, well, I mean, one of the things I've been kind of thinking about is how I kind of got into Faire to begin with. I mean, doing all these changes with the sound and everything, and kind of changing my schedule and how I normally do things out of Faire has kind of got me thinking about how did I get all into this anyway? I know you've all felt that way about things you've done before. And yeah, I mean, it was just one of those things where a friend of mine, Mark Gunn, said, hey, yeah, I was jamming on my auto harp during lunch, and somebody told me I should try out for a Ren Fair nearby over in near Austin. And I mean, it sounds like fun, but you know more about this music than I do. You want to get together and do a group? And it was kind of like, yeah, that could be fun. Let's try it. And I just kind of fell into it. It was a great time and a great opportunity, and a lot of fun. And it just kept growing and growing and growing. And now is my career. But I was wondering, how did all of you get into Faire? I mean, any of you have an interesting story on how you first got into, well, for some of you performing at Faire, and for others, just going to a fair. I mean, was it just one of those, a friend asked you, or parents took you, or was it something a little more crazy and interesting? So yeah, if you have an interesting story to tell, please share. I'd be interested to know how you got into this, join in my silliness and how this all happened. Because Faire is, people react to it in different ways, but the two main ways are it either infects us and just makes us want it more and more and more and more, or we're just kind of like, yeah, it was okay, and that's kind of the two common reactions I've seen to Faire. It's I totally get it, because it's not for everyone. It doesn't interest everyone, but when it does, people really tend to love it, and that's the fun part. Really, the fun part. Yeah. Yeah, I totally understand what you're talking about, Janine. With some stages were not really made for audio in mind. It's kind of crazy. Ren Fair stages are notorious for that. It's usually about the look of things as opposed to how they do a sound. And I get it. I mean, not many people know about that kind of thing, and there's very little. There's not much literature out there on it, really. So unless you hire an architect to work on it who knows what they're doing, you're kind of just guessing a lot of the time. But for what it's worth, that's one of the things I'm going to be talking about Louisiana Fair about, and seeing about the future. And if we can work on that on future stage builds, try to make it more sound friendly. That is my goal. So yeah, definitely. Yes, we do. You're totally right, Alicia. We do. The Road to Faire episodes. That's not, you're not wrong. That's why I didn't go into too much detail about my history of Faire, because a lot of you have probably heard it before. Oh, really? Okay. Girlfriend dragged you to your first one, Kevin. Yeah, that happens a lot. I mean, it's an interesting first date. I'll say that. But even if it's not a first date, it is a fun time. I mean, it opens up some possibilities to really get to know the other person in a lot of different settings. So a lot of different scenarios. So that can be a lot of fun. Ah, so you got tricked, kind of like I did. I understand, Nancy, completely. Totally get that. Totally get that. Okay. Yeah, Minnesota is one of those. I mean, it's one of the largest fairs in the country, and yeah, it really is a huge deal. Especially if that's your first. It's very overwhelming when you first go to something like that and watch it change and grow over the years too. That really is something special. One of the cool things is when you go to a fair, one of the first years that it's open, and you're happy to get 500 or 750 people through the gate. If you do that, they're like, "Oh, that's a pretty good day," and watch it grow over the years to where all of a sudden, thousands and thousands of people come in every day, and it's just to see that change. It's a little wild. Yeah, very much so. Oh, fourth grade trip for school. So school days, kid. Yeah, that happens a lot. And yeah, this is, wow, I did not set this up to actually show all of that. Yeah, that was a long one, Katsurita. I tried. Okay. So first fair to fourth grade field trip is what this essentially says. Uh, and working was through a Craigslist ad. Now that's interesting. Um, okay. And also dating. Okay. That's interesting. You kind of got brought into fair at several different times in your life for several different reasons. That's wild. Um, Well, yeah, I mean, you get that, yeah, definitely. And I mean, of course, the person who founded Minnesota also founded the Texas Renaissance Festival. So they sold Minnesota and used the money they got from that to build the Texas Renaissance Festival and yeah, do it. So I mean, there's a similar type of foundation between the two. They're very different fairs, but yeah, there is there's a joint history. We're not, Alicia? I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know that. Okay, I'm getting really behind the comments on this. Let me try to get in here. Uh, okay, Thanksgiving. Okay. Okay, so Nicole, you've been bringing people in. And Utah Shakespearean Festival. Okay, so that's a way to go. Um, ran into a leprechaun at a Whataburger. Okay, that's a new one. Okay, King Richard's Fair, nice, and from your mom. That's really cool. Yeah, the classic. Yeah, the classic. The first. That's always the big question when you go for the first time. Do you wear a costume or do you just go in civvies and just uh, s- scout it that way? And some people, yeah, they go with the Halloween costume and try it. And I don't think it's wrong either way. I think both approaches make sense. It just depends on your comfort level. Wow. The Pennsylvania Fair since the 90s. Yeah, Dan, yeah, it is a phenomenal thing to see how that grows in the period of decades. It's such a night and day difference. No pun with the word night, I swear. Oh, Kathy, yeah, Pittsburgh Run Fair as visitors. Yeah. Oh, you got pulled into the parade. Okay, okay. That's cool. That is cool. Yeah, I mean, and that's one of the things that you always try to do as a performer at fair. I mean, uh, when people come to fair, especially for the first time, you try to make sure as many people as you can, you give them that moment. Like, for instance, if I see somebody with a musical instrument, my first approach is, hey, can you play? Do you want to jam? And I'll just let them start playing whatever they know, and I'll join them. And for them, it's kind of like a professional musician just jammed with me in public, and it's a cool experience for them. But, you try to give everybody as many moments as you can during the day, because it really makes a difference. I mean, that's kind of why people go to Faire, for those special moments. They don't want to, watch TV and see other people's moments. They want to have one of their own. Nice, the costumes. Excellent. That's okay. That some people, they do start out going full out, and right. Yeah. I mean, some people, their regular attire already. I mean, you could wear that to Ren Fair and get away with it. I totally get that. It is a nice trait if you have it. But when you do that and you go to Faire, you're like, my people. You realize you're home. Nice. Yeah, I'm sure, because I mean, education is at least some of what fairs are about. Depends on the fair as to how much, but always at least a little. It's always great to play with you too, Harvey. But I mean, I wasn't even necessarily talking about you in that. I mean, you kind of came up to me and said, "Hey, can we play?" You beat me to it. So you were jumping right in. I mean, you're a musician, so it wasn't a problem. Ah, yes. Yeah, there are some cast members that do that with outfits. They will say, "Oh, you're not up to." I mean, they used to do that. I don't think they do it as much now, because now the outfits are so diverse compared to how they were maybe 20 years ago. Now, I mean, people come in with their favorite cosplay from a convention. They'll dress as an anime character, or somebody from literature, or yeah. I mean, and the themes to the fairs now cater to that, so it's not really that weird. But if it doesn't, I don't know. I mean, I know there still are cast members that will do that, and I think it's a shame. I really think they shouldn't do that, because everybody's different. And hey, I mean, I suppose if your character is catty, okay, maybe I could see doing that. Right. I totally hear you, Alicia. Very true. Oh, and always a pleasure, Harvey. No worries. No worries. No, I mean, I love playing music, and playing music with other people is a blast. I mean, I play music on my own throughout the day, so the times I get to jam with others, those are my special moments. So no, it's fine. Always, never a problem. Yeah, I do love that. So, and the other thing I'm thinking about is, well, okay, here's the thing. We're kind of hitting this point at the end of fair season where there aren't many fairs left, and you're getting into December now with fairs. So it's past Thanksgiving. Do you play Christmas music at fair? I mean, and if you do, how much is okay? And is anything okay? I mean, can you get away with playing? Can you get away with playing modern Christmas songs? Is that okay? And then that's kind of what I've been wondering. What is your opinion? I mean, do you think Christmas music at fair in December? No, I'm not talking about the Dickens events. I'm talking about Renaissance fairs right before Christmas. Is Christmas music okay for you? I mean, do you like going to a Ren fair and hearing Christmas music, or would you rather stick with the more the more Ren fair type song, or maybe some traditional Christmas songs that are several hundred years old? I mean, but maybe you wouldn't recognize them. What's your preference? No, thank you. Well, I mean, I admit you do spend so much time hearing it on the radio or in stores or whatever, everywhere you go. They bombard you with Christmas music, often before Thanksgiving. Wow. Yeah, it's not fun. But I mean, at the same time, it is that season, and at least it would be a little different. I mean, some of the instruments do give it a special spin, to be honest. That's fair, Katsurita. Yeah. Okay. But you've already got a bias, so you admit that. Okay. But you'd prefer the historical. Okay. So more, Liz, you're kind of saying, yeah, more of the traditional, same thing. They do. They do. Like some of Vince Conway, he plays hammered dulcimer, and I love some of his stuff for the Christmas tunes because they really have a special sound on that, something that really you don't hear anywhere else, and I like that. Okay, so Jan, same thing, traditional music. Well, yeah, I mean, green sleeves, obviously, sure, you can get away with green sleeves, but yeah, or before it was what child is this? Yes, yes, yes. That, of course, that counts. Okay, so you're kind of saying it's situational, Janine, where it could be a good thing, maybe not. It just depends on who you are, what you do, and what fair it is. And I totally, I see your point because all fairs are different. Some embrace the Christmas theme a lot more than others. I mean, if when December hits, there aren't many fairs going on, but some of them, I mean, they decorate the booths, they kind of go all crazy, and it's red and green all over the place. So I mean, it's kind of like it turns into a bit of a Christmas fair at that point in a way. I think the hope was that people would come in and, buy Christmas gifts during that season and get it in their head that this is a great place to buy Christmas gifts and get that going and for the vendors to make sales. But they do embrace the theme sometimes. Well, yes. My issue with some of those traditional songs is like Latin and all of that. It's kind of hard to grab an audience sometimes when they can't understand the words. I mean, it's usually better to translate it into English or to do a back and forth, I think, where do a verse in Latin and then do a verse in English kind of thing. There are exceptions to that for sure, but yeah, you also have to think about the overall audience. I mean, are you trying to concentrate on the few people that would really like the ultra traditional songs, or try to find a middle ground for the wider appeal? Thank you, thank you. For the record, I did take 4 years of Latin in high school, so I could probably pull that off fairly easily. Hmm. Oh, really? Okay. I mean, well, wait till you see the some of the events going on this weekend. You might get your wish, Damaris. There are a few options. Okay, okay. Well, I'll have to work on some Latin songs then. It's something a little more snappy than Laudamus Te, I think. Really? Kentucky had a Christmas in July themed weekend, and they go with music for that too? Um, that's a pretty weird. Oh, no, 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 no. Don't worry. I do I'm classical. I'm classically trained in Latin. The church Latin liturgical, that's not what I learned. I went in Catholic school, believe it or not, they taught classical Latin. I know, you wouldn't think, but the teacher they had, that was what she knew. So that's what they went with. Oh, nice, Lisa. Well done. Well done. Very well. Yes. Okay. Okay. So you're thinking about maybe doing new music, but doing sort of a bardcore kind of thing where it sounds old school, kind of maybe do something like that. Okay, maybe. Okay, so it's a promotional event for their fall Christmas thing. Okay. Well, thank you, Gypsy. I appreciate that. Well, yes, I do not speak. You don't really learn conversational Latin unless you're in seminary, training to be a priest or something. It doesn't, it's not necessary. It doesn't come up. So I think teachers tend to uh, think of it as a waste of time. Oh no, what have I started? What did I do? Yes, I think I did that. That is on me. And I'm probably going to have to make this happen now, aren't I? Yes. Well, okay. Well, maybe you'll all forget because everybody's hungover from Thanksgiving. Here's hoping. We'll see. Otherwise, I'll get reminded of this constantly and I'll have to do something here. Yes, yes. Yeah, that's kind of the thing. It's very different. For those of you that don't know liturgical Latin and classical Latin, it's all pronunciation. And it's essentially some historians who said, no, this is actually how the Romans spoke Latin based on our research, and this is how we'll teach it. And then, of course, the church, it's evolved over the years along with Italian, and it got its own flavor. So it just depends on which one you go with. So yes. Well, okay. Well, oh gosh, it's already 7:20. Well, let's go ahead and jump into the fair list because here we are. Yeah, let's do that because yeah, we do have a few. Oh, you'll notice I added the Santa hat graphic for some of the Dickens festivals or special Christmas festivals. So yeah, trying to, you mentioned you liked that idea. So from last week, I did add that. So here we go. Let's jump on this and get the, see if we can get that. Yay, pet-friendly version. Man, I was thinking about songs earlier, and the old song I used to do virgins taste better than those who are not. But here you go. Starting off, believe it or not, is a Renaissance Christmas fest in Bridgeton, New Jersey. And yeah, New Jersey, that's going to be cold. Oh yeah. At least by my standards, probably up there they'll all wear t-shirts, but that's, you get used to things. But it is up here for just the one weekend. And of course the theme is, wait for it, Christmas. I know, shocking. Then we go down to the Orlando Renaissance Festival in Orlando, Florida. And that is for 2 weekends. So this is the first of the two. No theme. I guess in December it's probably generally a Christmas. Then jumping over to the Suncoast Renaissance Festival in Sarasota, Florida. And that's still going on for 2 more weekends. It goes on for 4 in late November and early December. And their theme for this weekend is Vikings. Jumping over to where I am at the Louisiana Renaissance Festival in Hammond, Louisiana. We have 2 weekends left. So this is the 5th weekend, and the theme will be pirates. So that's going to be an interesting time. Maybe I need to invest in some pirate garb. What do you think? Maybe pirate garb? That could be interesting. The pirate bard. I kind of like this. This could go somewhere. Maybe. Well, we'll talk. We'll talk. Then jumping over into Texas, we have the Yule Viking Festival at Avalon, and this is in Kilgore, Texas. And it's going to be going on for the next 3 weekends. So this is the first out of 3. No theme. It's just, well, let's just be honest. It's Viking. So I went ahead and used the Viking icon, even though it's Yule. Jumping down here, we have the Dickens on the Strand Festival in Galveston, Texas. And it will be, it will be 3 days for Friday through Sunday. Just for the 1 weekend. And the theme is, of course, Charles Dickens. And then jumping over to California, we have the Great Dickens Christmas Fair in Daly City, California. I think it's Daly City. I don't know, California. And that's been going on. It is I think this will be the third weekend out of 5. And of course, the theme is once again Dickens. So something to enjoy. So a few Christmas options out there for those that were interested. Yeah, we'll see about Pirate Andrew. I don't know. Maybe. Oh, come on. That could be fun. I'm just saying. Just having a full, I mean, if I was to do it, I couldn't half-ass that. It would have to be full pirate, crazy, all the time. I mean, it would have to be over the top, crazy, silly. I mean, I'd have to go like if The Witcher was a pirate. I mean, that's how this would have to be. I mean, you'd really have to push it or it wouldn't be right. I mean, yeah, I really think so. Maybe we'll talk. Oh my gosh. Pirate Andrew presents Bardcore Christmas shanties. Oh no, this is actually sounding like good ideas, and that scares me because now I think I'm gonna have to do it. Oh, see what you do to me? See what you do? Yes, Lisa, you make a point. Well, it's already 7:33, so yes, I'm tempted. Okay, we'll talk. I'll see what I can figure out between now and next weekend, and I'll give you updates. Feel free to remind me. I have a feeling you will. So, but we'll call it there since it's already after 7:30 here. And yeah, enjoy. Stay warm because it is getting cold out there. So remember, cloaks can be your friend. And don't forget, sometimes it looks weird to put too many layers on over, but you can always put layers under and hide them. Stay warm, have a good time, and as always, a fair life. Take care.